Top 10 QB prospects at the mid-season mark coming at you right after the bumper. What's good, everybody? I'm Jake Robertson, and I'm not in my car today. Make sure to like, comment, and punch that subscribe button down below because we upload videos every single week. It's always Titans related, football related, sports related. We have fun on a bun here, trying to take this page from the affliction teas of YouTube to great like finding an onion ring and you order your fries. So we're officially halfway into the college football season, and there are plenty of teams in the NFL searching for their next franchise quarterback, my Titans included. So I'm here to break it down for you thus far. So let's hop right into it. All right, guys, kicking off this list at number 10, we got Steven Montes out of Colorado. Coming in at a 6'5", 230 pounds. Did have a pretty bad game last week against Oregon, not going to lie. Almost dropped him off the list completely. But he does display good physical traits. My player comp would be like a slow Carson Wentz. Teams seem to like his jokingly laid-back demeanor. By that, I mean he's not going to be that in-your-face Tom Brady or that young Phillip Rivers type of leader when you make that mistake. I think he would have success in a RPO-style system similar to Philly and has the body to absorb those blows from defensive linemen and linebackers. Montes should be a decent practice squad player with the chance to make the active roster as a backup and maybe a few years from now and as a relief for an injury. All right, number 9, we got Kyle Trask coming in for a relief of Felipe Franks after his season-ending injury, who I had as a top 10 QB prospect entering the year. Trask might not have the physical traits that Felipe possesses, but what he lacks there, he makes up with the mental side pre and post snap. He handles the offense well, utilizes his matchups, and should be a decent backup or practice squad player with a decent floor in the league. As of right now, it's his first year as the starter, so there's not a whole lot of tape on him. So right now, I don't see that elite upside, but if he keeps playing well and keeps leading Florida to some more wins, he could be the big riser this upcoming draft season. All right, number 8, we got Jordan Love out of Utah State. This seems to be a lot of analysts' dark horse candidate thus far this season. I can see why, but it seems that everybody's buying him off of last year's production, coming with 32 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. This year alone, he only has 6 touchdowns and 8 interceptions, which is 2 more than he had all last year. But 3 of them did come against LSU. But the throws this guy can make are the prettiest in the nation. Love has the strong arm for tight window situations, but also displays touch effortlessly, which sometimes allows him to get into a little bit of trouble with his decision making. I don't really fault him for the LSU game. Watching his throws in that game, he wasn't getting any help from his team, his O-line, his receivers for the most part. One thing to note is he does struggle when pressured and can even be consistent with the easiest of throws. I believe he has the biggest upside in this upcoming draft where he could have the ceiling of a Jameis Winston but a floor of maybe a Deshaun Kaiser. All right, at number 7, we got Jake Fromm, State Farm out of Georgia. So Fromm is on everybody's shit list after last week's loss to South Carolina, which in big part was Fromm's fault. But he's only human and quarterbacks have bad days just like the rest of us. Remember there was a day a couple years ago when Peyton Manning finished the game with 1 more completion than he did interceptions and finished that game with a QBR of .1. So look for Fromm to bounce back this week and reestablish himself as a top quarterback prospect, which has one of the highest floors in the draft, I believe. Don't let one game sway you too much, and this is a man that came in as a true freshman and led Georgia to a national championship and beat a Baker Mayfield-led Sooners team. Coming in at number 6, we got Jacob Eason out of Washington. Transferred from Georgia this past season where he was beat out by Fromm. So as of right now, I have him 1 place above Fromm, but I'm not completely convinced on that, and it might change. He has potential to be a top 5 pick this upcoming draft for his potential ceiling, but it's a little too soon to tell. He seems to be a little up and down as far as play goes, and he's still learning the Washington offense, so look for his stock to keep rising. He has a huge game against Oregon this week, and if he shows out, he could talk himself into that top 3 QBs conversation. Just got to see how it plays out and see a little more tape. Next, we got the biggest riser for me as far as the season's progressed is Sam Ehlinger out of Texas. I know they lost to the Sooners this past weekend, but Sam wasn't the real reason why. He showed poise in the pocket when he did have time, which was very seldom, and he did deliver those strikes across the middle. I didn't tally the numbers of drops his receivers had, but they really hurt him in that game. He's improved every year as the starter and only continues to do that, especially with his accuracy. I believe he has the chance to sit a year or two in the league and take the mantle from Colt McCoy as the best Texas QB in the NFL. I believe he has the traits to play similar to Big Ben and might even potentially land in Pittsburgh in the second or third round. More than likely, they will get another crack at OU in the Big 12 championship. And if he can propel them to a win there and a big bowl game win, he could talk himself into the bottom of the first round. Number 4, we got Justin Herbert out of Oregon. Maybe it's the scars of Mariota that I don't have him as high as 2 like a lot of other analysts do. But Herbert is a very good QB prospect, and he checks just about every box the analysts are looking for as far as size, strength, leadership, accuracy, winning nature. But what I see when I look at him is a Nick Foles as a ceiling, but a Brock Osweiler kind of floor. And if he's Nick, awesome. Potential Super Bowl winning MVP, sign me up. But I believe he could potentially be the big bust of this upcoming draft as far as the quarterbacks go. And that really scares me off him a little bit. And I wouldn't want my team saddling to him for the next 4 or 5 years. But maybe that's just me being a salty Titans fan, and I'll change my mind by draft season. Number 3, we got Jalen Hurts out of Oklahoma. Newest OU transfer quarterback seems to be following in Baker's and Kyler's footsteps, but his play style couldn't be even more different. He's been a run-first quarterback ever since he's entered college for Bama, and Lincoln Riley has slowly changed that in his system while allowing Jalen to still do what he does best, which is run. He's basically a running back that can throw the ball. This is a system that takes time to adjust to, and he's doing just that. And you can see slight improvements in his slow throwing motion and accuracy. He's not perfect yet, but he's progressing. Also a workout warrior. He's the player that's going to blow up after the combine if he participates. He will need a team to adapt to their system around him, though, just like Baltimore's done with Lamar Jackson. I think the Bengals or Steelers are potential landing spots for him. What he needs to improve on most is just his decision making. We see him looking for that Heisman moment just far too often, which showed up very evidently in that Texas game. But we saw a little bit of that in the Kansas game as well. He is the leader of men, though, and I'm pretty sure a team will jump for him in the first round. Number 2, we got Joe Burrow out of LSU. Probably my favorite prospect as far as talking about goes. He's just like Baker Mayfield light, and I'm not talking about Gardner Minshew. All 3 of those guys are cut from the same cloth. Confident gunslingers that are hyper accurate, not afraid to go downfield and stretch the defense. He's going to be a starter in the league. It's just a matter of time. He could potentially win the Heisman this year. We'll see how that goes. He also has the fire in the gut that just shows on the field, and he's going to scream. He's going to have a good time. His stock's only going to go up, but I do expect him to have 1 or 2 bad games this year. Just don't let that scare you off of him just because of his style. He's not afraid to fit those balls in the tight windows. And he has probably the highest ceiling, I believe, as far as this draft goes. All right, number 1. You guys already know who it is. It's Tua out of Alabama. Should already be able to buy that condo in Miami because you already know they're going to have the first-round pick. He displays everything that you want in a franchise quarterback other than maybe elite athleticism. One thing to watch is if Alabama has to play behind against a ranked opponent this year and just see how he responds and silence the Georgia game and the hate from last year. He should be the number 1 pick, and if not, someone's probably making a mistake. There you have it, guys. That is my top 10 quarterback prospects for this upcoming draft. Let me know what you think down below, guys. Remember to stay water. This is going to change. Even the top 7, I could see everybody in that top 7 being that number 1 pick by the end of the year, barring see what happens, injuries, whatever it might be. But I want you guys to keep an open mind with that. But remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week.